Craig, Spurs did everything right today.
They did everything that we knew they would. It's like we talked about it and we said, look, you know, the problem for City is if they have another catastrophe at the back, then they could lose this game. And Tottenham knew that. And look, I heard all these things about masterclasses and stuff. They went out with a plan to drop Højbjerg and Sissoko back in to make a back six at times and allow the full-backs to stay wide so that they couldn't be split down with those little passes down between the centre-halves and the full-backs. And they defended really well. I mean, really well. And then Harry Kane's positioning when they were on counter-attacks was excellent. And then they got runners off them. So you can't criticise Spurs. I mean, Spurs, you know, we talk about Spurs on this show as, you know, they're not really dominating games and stuff, but they were never even going to try that against City. They know they can't go head-to-head in a footballing parlance against this City side. So they just decided to hunker in, wait for their opportunity and take it.
And it worked well, Frank.
It did. It worked very well. And the first goal is really what we were expecting from them, you know, being strong defensively and very, very fast in counter-attack. And when Ndombele got the ball and gave it to Son, even if they have to thank, you know, Laporte or Diaz, I don't know which one of them made the non-covering mistake. They were so fast and so effective and efficient that they scored the goal, and they did the same. They did the same also after in the second goal. 1-2 touches. Kane absolutely perfect in that position as a former real number 10. Making so many assists. I think it's 9 in 9 goals. It's absolutely accurate in that position. And Tottenham did the game they had to do against a team who only thinks about possessing the ball and not trying to cross the ball when they have the chance to. I think Guardiola has to stop thinking that making 10 passes give you 1 goal. I don't know. They have to sometimes do the crossing, be more direct, and try something to score goals. And on top of it, they were so clumsy today that when they tried it, they missed it. So no doubt that Tottenham, for me, deserved that win.
Craig, when we've discussed the possibility of Spurs being title contenders, you've been quite down on that opinion. Has what you saw over the 90 minutes today changed your mind at all?
Not really, because you have to ask the questions. You're going to have to be better than City and Liverpool to win the league. Although City are struggling at the moment, I would imagine that will change. Look, there's no doubt he's solidified them under a threat on the counter-attack. It's a completely different style to the last 5 years under Pochettino. Completely the opposite. But Mourinho will say, this has been successful for me for most of my career. The one thing I would say, Dan, is I may change my mind when you look at the upcoming games. Chelsea, Arsenal, Palace, Liverpool, Leicester City, Wolverhampton, all coming up in the next 6 or 7 games. If they come through that and they're still flying, then the answer will be, yeah. But that's a big haul of games in a short period of time against the better sides in the Premier League. Now, they've just knocked one of the better sides off their perch today. If they continue against the teams that I just mentioned there, some of those games are obviously home and away, then they're probably going to think to themselves, we are in this. But that's a big if at the moment.
Craig, you mentioned there you don't see this poor run from City continuing. Why not? Because they're not offering any sort of change or any sort of optimism, I feel, for their fans at the moment. They have a lot of the ball but don't do much with it.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting they're going to go on a 15-match winning streak, but clearly they'll pick up. And they won't be where they are on the table for very long because they will come up against less organised sides with poorer players than Tottenham, who won't be able to do what Tottenham did on the counter-attack and who don't have the Harry Kanes and the Toby Alderweirells and the Hugo Lloris and all these players. So they'll pick up points. But that's not to get away from a couple of criticisms. And I don't know what Frank's going to say, but just to go back to Frank's point, he's absolutely right. It's not just about possession. A couple of major criticisms here of Manchester City. One, clearly they can't defend, right? Clearly, properly, in those scenarios. And that buck stops with not just the players, but the coach. Coaching's not just about fancy Dan, possession, tucking the fullbacks into midfield scenario to get an extra man so that you can outplay people. People is also coaching Coaching is also getting people to do the job that Frank Leboeuf used to do, and that's defend. Because defending is a hugely important part of the game. It's one of the reasons why he's not got the Holy Grail, the Champions League, since he left Barcelona. Because at key times, Bayern Munich and Manchester City have been poor defensively in the big games. The positioning of Laporte and Ruben Dias and João Cancelo's lack of awareness was just scary. And that doesn't that doesn't fall on deaf ears. But it all comes back to the coach. The buck stops with him. The second one is, and it's going back to Frank's point, and Bernardo Silva wasn't the only one, Dan. But a couple of times in the first half, he cut in field in the penalty box onto his favoured left foot. He was central and then dropped the shoulder another 3 times and played it wide. When a team's sitting as deep as this, you should be pot-shotting at Hugo Lloris from 25 yards. I should see a dozen strikes at goal on Hugo Lloris from outside the box. All I'm seeing is tippy-tappy football. The second half is a chance to cross the ball in the box, Bernardo Silva, on the left-hand side from a great position. He turns back again. I mean, this again falls back on Guardiola. Is he telling these guys he wants to see the perfect goal every time? Because that's just not going to happen. So it's a player thing, but it's also a coach thing. He signed a new deal, but he's going to have to find a fix for this.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time talking about Manchester City's defence over the last 18 months, Frank, but this is a City side that's only scored 10 goals in the opening 8 matches.
Yeah, it's a problem, and I completely agree with Craig on that matter. You know, when you only think about making the plus pass where you have the possibility of shooting, of crossing, and it drives me crazy, really. I'm in front of the television, I threw my telephone away, you know, and I say, what the hell? I don't understand football anymore. What are they looking for? If it's to get the statistic of the team who possess the ball the most, they're going to win it, the championship from far. But that's not the point. You have to score a goal. So on top of being clumsy today, there are chances that they didn't get. They didn't take those chances to score and to shoot. And I don't understand it. Sometimes they go so far on trying to get into the players and to take them on, but to make another passes where it's more simple than that, and you have to go and shoot and challenge the goalkeeper. But they don't do that, and it's like they want to go with the ball into the net. That drives me crazy. And on top of it, the defensive aspect that Craig mentioned, it's also the fact that the team is completely unbalanced. But Guardiola always played like that. When he was for Barcelona, because of the position of the ball, he went to an offensive choice of players where you don't have the type of player you need to in fact try to correct the counter-attack you're gonna face. And those players, the two centre half, for example, they are in danger all the time when they face good players like Tottenham has. And that's the problem with the Guardiola aspect of the football. You don't protect your defenders because you choose to attack. So if therefore you choose to attack, please shoot on goals. Otherwise, it means nothing.
8 points separate Spurs and City. Frank, who finishes higher at the end of the season?
Again, I will have to agree with Craig. If they go through the 5 or 6 game with winning maybe, I don't know, 15 or 18 points, you know, through that those games, you can say that Spurs are contenders. But now it's too early, and it's too early also to condemn Manchester City, because I think, of course, they have the quality and the players and also the coach to change everything and to get better and better and to rectify the problem that they have.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.